First I want to thank the fan base for coming out today. It's really important for us to continue to have great fans come every single week. We do have the playoffs coming in 2 weeks, so it was really loud on third down, fourth down. We needed it, and they came up big for us again. So I appreciate the fans for another strong performance in our victory. Really proud of our players. I think about when you clinch playoff or clinch a division or whatever those things are, with a couple games remaining, you worry about the 1-2, the drive, the effort, and all the strain that you want to see when games are, not necessarily on the line in general, or if they matter because of what you've already done. The players really came in determined. I was really proud of our offense today. The offensive line just setting the tone of the football game. Max driving us down the field. I know we only got a field goal on that first drive, but it was just good for me to see that. And they really finished the entire game across the board. It was good to see new players that has really worked their tails off every single day. They never come in my office. Kevon, Jerome Cap, these guys got real reps. Bringing back Silvers into the league where, here's a guy that won 6 games in the XFL, year one. Just a guy that we brought back. We trusted to, let's bring a pro back when one of our top guys goes down, and he got a chance to play today. There were some defensive players as well. Defensively, I was kind of mixed feelings coming in at half. I felt like we gave up a lot of yards on the ground. The holes were kind of big. But we held them, I think, under 100 yards passing today. We got some turnovers, and they only gave up 3 points in the second half. So really proud how they responded, because when there's, you're in it, it's 21-10, and all of a sudden you feel like, man, it could be, a wider gap, and those guys came out with a good, with just a good mindset to really improve in the second half. Proud of a guy like Micah Abraham. Here's a guy we just signed. He's Donnie's son. And look, I was happy for him when he scored on that touchdown. Donnie was really serious. He didn't want to, he was like, hey, coach, we got to keep going. But how exciting is that? I mean, I have a son that plays football. It's so rewarding to see your kids. His mom was here. So just really proud of him. When you sign with us, we really don't go out of our box. We really do sign guys that were here at training camp, and we needed somebody we could trust. Mike is a guy that was drafted last season, and stepping in and bringing something to the table is really important. So just glad to see new players. Cole Spencer come in and play guard. Bradley. These guys have been straining, busting their tail, and they never once come in my office and say, Coach, when am I going to play? When am I going to get mine? It really is the culture and the brand of selflessness that we really do preach. And, there's just a lot of camaraderie within our players. And I'm just proud of them for staying the course, finishing the journey. This game meant something to a lot of players. And I'm glad guys, JJ didn't have to play the whole game today at left tackle. The guy's been, he's a vet in our league. He's a guy that's been in the next level and just finished all the way through because, you got a younger player back there toting the rock and giving him a chance because he's creating holes. So just, a lot of pride there with those players. So proud of this team. My coaching staff, too. These guys work really hard every single day. And, again, this game was important to us. And the next week's game is going to be important to us as well. And we want to finish strong and go into the playoffs positive. And we're going to get more players to play next week, and I'm excited to see them as well. So great win. Really, really proud of our performance. And, listen, San Antonio's had a rough season, but, Coach Pardee, had them playing hard this year, especially the last 2 weeks. Made me nervous, because those guys are fighting. And that speaks volumes about them as well. So, again, big win for us at home. It was a way to kind of seal the deal. And, number 7-2, man. It's good to be a winner.
Coach, you mentioned it, but just the idea of these games still matter to your group. What was sort of your message to them in light of that? Because obviously we know your playoff clinched. You know you're going to be playing at home as well. And there's still games to play, and obviously they didn't play like a group that that the game didn't matter to them.
Yeah, like we don't play 20 games preseason, and 17 game season. We played 8 games and we let 2 slip away. And we really do have to continue to improve. I mean, there's so much room for us to get better. I know the scoreboard was what it was today, but man, like we can be better up front defensively. That's not what I've seen the last couple weeks. And now you kind of open yourself up to those holes, right? And now a team can utilize that. So we got to be better in those moments. Kickoff. Our kickoff team let up a couple big returns today. Like that's not us, right? So we got to clean those things up. And, there are a lot of new faces and players that are playing. We have some young corners right now that they're not just playing because they're getting a chance. Like, they're our guys now, Miles Sims, Miles Jones, Mike is here now, Nick, Whiteside. These guys are our guys now. They got to step up and play like vets. And they've been able to play the entire season. Donnie does a good job of, everybody plays, why everybody plays is when you get in these moments when guys get hurt or things happen, there's a little bit of a trust level. Now, you talk to Donnie, he probably doesn't trust anybody when they're out there corner because nobody does it like him. But, I trust them because they're going through the battles, man. Guys play hard. So, finish the journey, man. This is a journey for us. I won 8 games. I'm sick of winning 7. I mean, I won 8, and I want to win next week. And we got to handle business. But in order for us to get where we want to go, we got to continue to play the way we know how to play. We can't take steps back because our season's not that long. I mean, 10 games plus playoffs. I mean, that's there's no room for error. And again, we're not proclaiming we're a feeder league or anything, but you never know what tape is being looked at, right? Nobody knows. Like, oh, who did you play? Pick it up. They pick week 9 or week 1. Like, you got to put something out there, right? So we just want guys to play really good every single week and put really good stuff out there because we push them hard. And, just like I said, I'm proud of the effort. The effort's there. Guys are coachable. At halftime, I was thinking about, really getting on them, but I could hear the players, our leaders, Willie, Harvey, talking to getting the defense together. That's not good enough. That's not who we are. Those are the things I want guys to police their team. I don't want to be the guy that has to yell at everybody, oh, make tackles or be better here. Guys understand it. They get coached up professionally by our coaches. And, they got to go out there and perform. It's a performance-based business. This is what it is, man. So they rectified that in the second half. So really proud of how they really finished the game.
And I wanted to check just before I forget, Max, obviously it looked like you guys were just getting some guys in, but Jacob had come out a little bit earlier after that run. Was that as much about just, not wanting to push it, or could he have gone back in?
No. Listen, look, we told Jacob, you're going to get it, first quarter or half. And listen, he's in the middle of a rushing title situation. It's important to him. It matters to him. And I care about it too. I also care about his health. I care about, his future. And, we have a lot of really talented backs. It was good to see Jarvian Howard step in and run like Jarvian Howard. And he just needed touches. We just haven't had a lot of plays, 50 plays. We needed more snaps, and we finally got those guys snaps. Kevon, excellent player. Busts his tail every day, man. Glad to give him a chance. And he took advantage of it. That's what you have to do. You get a moment, you got to, and he had multiple runs today that were really good. We had a plan for Max. It was going to be a half, and we're going to throw some more balls. I thought, the accuracy was there. I thought he completed some nice passes. Continues to grow and do exactly what we're asking him to do, and he can be better as well. So, we got some other linemen in as well. It's hard, there's guys that, we're trying to get out. We just got to dread. We'll give them a chance next week, see how we can figure out the roster and numbers like that. But, there was a plan today. It was really first quarter, first half. Let's see how we play. And these guys want to play. I want to be smart. I want to make sure they get their carries and their touches and they do what they do. But I also, I want to make a nice push here so we're healthy for our playoff run. It's tricky. It's tricky every single week.
And last one for me, I know you've mentioned it seems like for 9 weeks now about the this being a deeper team or as deep a team as you guys have ever had. A game like this, is it satisfying to sort of showcase that in the way that you guys did tonight? Yeah,
no doubt. I mean, myself and Dave worked really hard on just building a deeper roster. Every guy that we even cut, I felt like they were worthy of playing in this league, and it's unfortunate because teams don't get to see them. Only we know them, right? That's why we only, usually bring guys back that were with us, in training camp. this is the best team we've had. This is the best team we've had, and that was important. And, everybody's going for a similar purpose. Everybody's going for a common goal. Again, it's very easy to be selfish in these leagues because, guys come in, hey, I'm in the UFL. Like, I got to go get my yards, and I got to do this, and, I got to get my PT, my playing time, and my tackles. And, yeah, that's one way of looking at it. I firmly believe that the good teams, okay, the individual accolades come with good teams. And when you're in the mix, when you're in the playoffs, when you're winning, that's the tape people want to watch. Now, we got plenty of good players in our league that are on teams that maybe aren't having the season they want to have. But, again, good teams have good players, and that's where they try to find them. So I'm just proud of that. And again, next man up. You never know what you got, too. Sometimes guys haven't played much, and here they get their chance, and then they show out. So Kevon, like I said, one of those guys at the running back position. So, yeah, this is a really good team. It's a special team, and just proud of them, man. Just they work hard. They buy in. Again, it's very difficult to do that in just a training camp and buy into that kind of standard and culture you're trying to set, because you can't be crazy with it because it's, you got some new faces, you're trying to build them in, but those guys that were repeat guys from the year 2, they help with that as well. So the Mike Roses and the Lucas Dennis and the Cam Kellys, like, these guys get it. They understand, and they've all improved. Every player that we've had back year 1 and year 2 that are back this year are all better players. And that's good because sometimes it takes a little bit. You got to kind of go through it a little bit, learn the system, come back, you learn a little bit more, and now it's clicking. So just like a rookie in the NFL, year 3, you got to shine. Well, I'm a rookie head coach 3 years ago. I got to shine. Like, I got to do something, right? So, desperately trying to improve myself as well. And, again, just give these guys ownership in what they do and let them go out there and play hard. And I trust everything, that we put together for them, and they go out there and perform for us.
Anthony, the nature of this beast is that generally the opposition goes on a run at some point, and you can build a big lead, but inevitably the game gets close. How satisfying was it to be able to pull away in this one?
Yeah, I mean, you're up by 18, but you're 2-possession game, right? Like, they can be tied in it, and there's a constant counting of points in my mind every time we score, kick a field goal, or they score. But it keeps you on your toes, man. Like, it is important, and it is nice. We had 2 early kind of games where it felt good. Your score, you can kind of relax a little bit, but it was kind of a close game throughout, and then we pulled away. So, like I said, I give credit to San Antonio because, again, when you're having a tough season in general, it's hard to keep that focus, right? Just to go out and they played hard the last 2 weeks. The tape doesn't lie. They've been in both games. They played good teams. And, again, for us, we had to raise our bar. We had to make sure we matched it and matched those punches and threw a couple more. But, yeah, the points are it is. That's what makes this league exciting, right? That's why we have a 3-point, a 2-point, a 1-point. We have a 4th and 12. Like, all that stuff, the overtime, like that is what's the difference why our league is really cool. So glad we have those things because it does give you a chance. I don't want to be in those scenarios on the flip side, but we've seen year 1 when we came back, it was 18-3 and we won the game, or 15-3, whatever it was. So with 1:20 left, I mean, you're never out of it. So you got to play 4 quarters and you got to finish your 4 quarters. And our team has been able to really close out games, even when they've been close. Something to be said about being battle tested going into the playoff push, right? So that builds trust. Players believe, and when you're in a 4th down and short, and you get off the field, and we're doing it every week. I mean, you start thinking like, they can't do it against you. So it's all about belief and empowering guys, and that's what we try to do with our staff, with our players, and make them believe what they're doing. They got to go out there and do it. We can't catch balls, throw balls. I mean, we just put it together for them, and they got to go on the field in between the chalk and get it done. And that's what they've done. 5 in a row is impressive. It's hard to win games. We were 2-2, man. We could have went a lot of different directions. You lose 2 in a row, any league, any profession. Guys can go. Quarterback gets knocked out. All of a sudden, like, now what? Guys didn't flinch. Defense raised their game when the offense was trying to get going. Special teams has been solid the entire year. We got the best kicker in the league. I mean, those things matter, man. They add up to wins, and that's what we got. So 7-2, happy to be there. We've never been 7-2. We got a chance to win 8 for the first time, so we're going to try our best to do that.
Coach, do you see the reps for next week kind of falling in a similar path? Does the fact that you're playing DC make you more concerned about injury, or could Max getting exposure to DC in this environment be more of a benefit than maybe playing just a half this week?
We're trying to win. trying to win the game. That's what we're doing next week. We won 8 wins. So we're going to do everything we can. We're going to work hard this week. We got a full week. We play Friday. And, it's going to be for the division, right? I mean, that's, bearing what they do this week, but I think let's pump the brakes on who actually, the home field advantage belongs to the team that wins the division. So we want to win it, and that's what we're going to try to do, and we're going to work really hard at it. It's tough when you got to play a team twice in a row. We did it last year, and what we did in Week 10, we tried to win, and we did. So that's the mentality. Like I said, we only get guaranteed 10 regular seasons, and then, if you're lucky, you get more in the postseason. So, we got to go, man. We got to keep getting better, and, guys will be ready. Now, who's going to start? Who's going to do this? We'll see. But we're definitely not, whoever's playing, there's going to be an expectation to win the football game. So we'll see how it goes this week. Like I said, I got to look at the roster and stuff like that. How can I get guys on the field and things of that nature? But everybody's got to be ready to go because we just can't pluck a guy. I mean, if I don't start a guy or I can't bring him on the trip, they got to stay home. That's tough. And these guys are making money. If they don't make all the money, if they do dress or don't dress, I think about those things. It's just not as easy as just saying, "No, you're staying home." Like there's other factors to it. So these are conversations that me and Dave and the staff have, and then ultimately I have to make the decision. So whoever's out there, we want to win. So that's kind of that's what we're going to do.
Just talk a little bit about Micah and his play. Not only the fumble, but how he ran that guy down right before half on the special teams.
No, yeah, I mean, I'm glad he's in shape. He took care of his body. He came right from the NFL. Normally guys wait a little bit, to see, but he was adamant. Like he got it because he understands Donnie. Like he needed film. This is what this league's about. You can sit around at home and wait for somebody to call you, but they may not. And we're calling you, so, hey, you got a chance. I mean, he ain't the first one that we've tried to call and got, I'm going to wait it out. Like, listen, man, like, we've been through this process with guys trying to talk to their agents. Like, you got to come play ball, man. You got to get film. This is what this league is, and we've located you as a guy that can help. And if you want to do it, it's here. If not, that's your choice. So just happy for him, man. Just, again, when we sign you and you get a chance, like, do something, right? And he just made a couple big plays, like you said. So his mom's here. It's really cool, man. Honestly, it's a blessing that, I think in the preseason this past year, he had a fumble recovery for a touchdown in his first game that he played in the preseason during training camp with the Colts. So it was kind of ironic, he puts himself in another position to make a play, and he does it, right? He's around the ball, and hopefully we get more of that. That'd be great. But he's able to get some route. I don't know how many plays he had, maybe 20-ish, just enough to get him going a little bit. But, we're going to need him. We need them. You only have 4 corners, and we're rolling with these guys. We're not going to find somebody to help us at this point.
You said he's faster than Dad. Do you see it that way or no?
I don't know. If he has Dad, that's not going to happen. Listen. I know. Anytime you're a coach's son, you're smart, right? And regardless if he's fast or whatever, it's instincts, seeing things early. But listen, he got. We'll watch the film, see how he played overall, but. I was glad he can contribute. We just want guys that, make plays like that, man. That's the difference maker. And, it's a perfect example of a guy that, believed in just coming in this league. We gave him an opportunity on a short notice, and he made a play. And now, people know his name. He's on TV. He's on Fox. People are, hey, that's Donnie's son. I'm sure they, Klatt and those guys talked about him. I mean, that's what this is about, right? They got a nice platform. And so it was great. I know his brother, Devin, who was on our staff 2 years ago. They're home. I'm sure a lot of them, he just has a newborn. His wife, obviously, back in Huntington, West Virginia, watching him on TV. So proud moment for the Abraham family, for sure.
James, your turn.
Hey, Coach. So close to playing a perfectly clean game in the sense of penalties. You had one there in the final minute. Chris Garrett had to do it.
Thanks for pointing that out.
Yeah,
appreciate that.
That aspect of the game and how proud you are of the team for playing such a clean game up until that point.
Yeah, that was something that caught my eye. We were just walking in. I was telling Stelly we only had one penalty, and it came at the end there. Composure, man. Like, very easy for guys to just, not think about that. Like, jumping off sides in practice, we run it again, back in the huddle, and we're not gonna stand for it. And it happened a couple times this week in practice, and we let guys know it's just not going to be what we do. So Chris got one. I think He was off. They called delay a game, so he got lucky there. Everybody was kind of in the headphones, kind of all upset. But he made a good call. Then he came back and had a penalty, but he did come back and close the game out with a sack, right? So it's like, you want to rip his tail when he comes off, but he just, closed the game with a big sack. So he made up for it. Look, he's just a high motor guy, man. He's reigning special teams player of the year, and he's actually a really good pass rusher, man. Like, he's a problem. And we try to play him as much as we can, but we already have two of the best guys in the league that start. So it's nice to have guys like him and Carson Wells come in and you don't lose a step. So just proud of the way he plays, man. He's the most unselfish player I know, and hell, we may have back-to-back special team players of the year again. Cap's done an unbelievable job for us, knowing his role, and obviously from a kicking standpoint, Rod's been awesome as well. So just proud of all those guys. They work hard. Kyle Caskey's done a great job. He's one of the best special teams coordinators I've been around, and this is only his second year doing it, but he's acting like he's been doing it for a decade. So guys are ready, prepared. The plan's good. Everybody does their job, and they play hard for their coaches. That's all you want. All right, thanks, guys. Appreciate it.